This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Now, destination, automation, motivation. Now, destination, automation, motivation.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Tuesday, August the 11th of 2026, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
It's my kind of music.
I get the best mix of my favorite music.
All on one radio station.
Another wild ride is around the corner on Radio Big.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse as we are hanging out and doing our thing. So let's talk real quick about how we do our show here. We talk about safety and the news and safety. So we do bring in some professional broadcasters, giving you some information about what's going on inside of the verse. And then we kind of go from there. That's kind of how we do our hang. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process of doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the options of the things that are readily available if you want to come and hang out and do that stuff. So there you go. That's kind of the whole kit and caboodle of what we do there. So audio, video, text messaging, and then we kind of run with it. Outside of that, when I do bring in the professional broadcasters, they're giving you real news stories that are happening in real time. I mean, it is pulled information as we are going. I give you everything that's current as of this morning in regards to what we were able to find. I think the last check runs around, what is it? I think it's 4 a.m. is the last little checker-ecker here that we run. I think that's the last one for the main portion of the show, but the feature story news people are constantly bringing up stuff that is going on. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it, of course, in regards of that information. I mean, I don't know. The reason why we get so heavy in the news is because I always think that you need some topical information about what the hell's going on inside of the world. But that's just me. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do this right now? Let's go ahead and bring in our friends from Feature Story News. Let them tell you exactly what the hell is going on.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in New Delhi, I'm Neha Punia. At least 132 people have died after a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck western Colombia, prompting the country's president to declare a national disaster. 7 airports across western Colombia have suspended services, and the army has deployed 5 platoons of rescue soldiers to the worst-hit areas. Nick Harper has more.
The earthquake happened in the western part of the country, rocking buildings, toppling some, and trapping people inside. You could also see in videos posted on social media debris raining down from some of those buildings that were hit during the earthquake, the strongest recorded in the country in decades, with the epicenter in San Jose del Palma, about 240 kilometres from the capital Bogotá. The shocks from the earthquake were felt all the way in the capital and even in parts of the neighbouring country of Venezuela. Since then, aftershocks have been detected, and officials on the ground who are involved in search and rescue efforts say they expect the death toll to rise.
President Trump facing pushback from within the Republican Party over a new order that cuts the recommended childhood vaccine schedule from 18 jabs to 11. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy, a physician who chairs the Senate Health Committee, writing on X, the order is wrong, as James Goodison is reporting.
Mr. Trump says this will give parents more choice, not prohibit access. And specifically on the MMR vaccine, Mr. Trump likened it to injecting a child with soda. It gives parents an idea in their mind that certain vaccines are discredited, and that could possibly lead to a re-emergence of diseases like measles. There's more cases this year than has been seen in decades. Also, more broadly, these sorts of orders really can sow doubt in parents' minds about what's safe for their child.
There are calls for a shutdown in India's eastern state of Jharkhand after police there clashed with students protesting alleged irregularities in government recruitment exams. The state's opposition party, the BJP, is criticizing alleged use of force, and it is stepping up pressure on the JMM party, which leads a coalition government with Congress and other allies. Ishan Garg is reporting.
This might not be enough. What they want the government to do is to reach out to the federal government and set up an investigation under India's premier federal authority that is responsible for investigations, called the CBI, the Central Bureau of Investigation, and that demand so far has not been met. There is, however, another federal agency called the Enforcement Directorate, which mainly deals with money laundering crimes, that has now become involved in these investigations, and it is now carrying out its own investigation.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking today in more detail at why Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected the plan for Gaza put forward by President Trump and his Board of Peace. He says the Israeli military will not make any kind of withdrawal from Gaza unless and until Hamas is fully disarmed, and also said that for as long as he is Prime Minister, there will be no Palestinian state in either Gaza or the West Bank. Of course, how long he remains Prime Minister is an open question at the moment, given that Israel is going to the polls on October the 27th. Oliver McTurnan is a former mediator and director of Forward Thinking, a London-based organisation working to resolve conflicts in the Middle East.
I think had he agreed to the process where it stands now, I think he would have put his future totally at risk. He had no intention ever agreeing with the Board of Peace plan. There is no way that the 70% of Gaza now occupied by the IDF will be given up. That will be the interim border. And I'd stress interim because the intention basically is to eventually get involuntary migration, that the 2 million people still in Gaza will move into the Sinai.
One White House official said President Trump is not troubled by the Israeli leader's position, saying, "We understand his needs," during the Israeli election campaign. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. The death toll from a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake in Colombia has climbed to 132 as the country declares it a national disaster. President Trump facing pushback from within the Republican Party over a new order that cuts the recommended childhood vaccine schedule from 18 jabs to 11. Calls for a shutdown in India's eastern state of Jharkhand after police clash with students protesting alleged irregularities in government exams. And that is the latest Feature Story News. Neha Punia reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Another pitfall of our society. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. Another pitfall of our society is definitely what it sounds like there as we are talking. What do you think about the whole thing? It's the whole kit and caboodle, as always, as we are doing our thing. So let's start going down the process real quick about a lot of the stuff that is going on inside of the world, though. So take a listen to this real quick. Trump administration says that it has revoked more than 175,000 visas as part of a major expansion of its immigration enforcement efforts. According to the State Department, most of the cancellations involved law enforcement encounters, including allegations of assault, DUI, theft, drug offenses, reckless driving, fraud, child abuse, sexual assault, and other crimes. Officials also said that visas were revoked for 4 nationals accused of threatening Americans, supporting violence, or posing national security concerns. The administration says that it's part of the ongoing continuous vetting process to ensure that visa holders comply with U.S. laws. State Department officials said that they will continue identifying and revoking visas of people they believe are endangering Americans. So what do you think there? I mean, is there a good thing to have checks and balance in regards of the systems, in regards of what's going on? Yeah, checks and balances are, and balances are great in regards to checking some of that stuff. But, we would like to know what exactly is the guideline. Maybe that's more of the question. What is the guideline here? Opposed to it just being, hey, here's some información, and let's move with it. So there you go. As stated earlier with the feature story news, people, I want you just to listen to this real quick. Let's talk about it one more time. President Trump has signed an executive order directing federal health officials to review and revise childhood vaccine recommendations, including exploring a schedule that spaces out childhood immunizations over more medical visits instead of giving several vaccines during the same appointment. The order also calls for additional vaccine research and encourages states to consider updating school vaccination policies to reflect any new federal guidance. During the signing, the president again raised questions about possible connection between vaccine and rising autism rates. However, major medical organizations and decades of scientific research have found no evidence linking childhood vaccines to autism. The order drew immediate criticism from the public health experts, who warned that delaying vaccines could leave children vulnerable to preventable diseases for long periods of time. So what do you think here? I'm just asking the question because I would like to have a better understanding of this. Let's take a listen to this one. Jeff Bezos and Eduardo Sabarini are reportedly close to buying 30% stake of the Liverpool FC as part of the investment group led by businessman Amit Bhatia. According to the report, current owners Fenway Sports Group is nearing a deal that would value Liverpool at about $6 billion, making it one of the biggest investments ever in soccer club. If completed, it would mark Bezos' first major ownership stake in a professional sports team, and Eduardo's first major move into sports ownership as well. Liverpool is one of England's most successful clubs with 20 league titles, 6 European Cups, and an official announcement of the deal is expected soon. Just in case, Facebook co-founder is Eduardo Sabarini. So I just want to make sure, if you don't know, Jeff Bezos, of course, known for Amazon. But unless you've watched the movie, more than likely you will not be familiar with Eduardo. So just wanted to bring that up. So I have bad news, so I must share this. I know it is Tuesday, and if you do enjoy a Taco Tuesday, I might be ruining part of it today. So I apologize ahead of time. Taylor Farms has voluntarily recalled a variety of prepared foods, including guacamole, salsa, and other containing fresh jalapenos, after concerns that the peppers may be linked to a multi-state salmonella outbreak. The recall were sold at retailers such as Walmart, Kroger's, Whole Foods, Target's, Trader Joe's, and Hannaford in about 20 states. Taylor Farms says that it's stopped sourcing jalapenos from Sinaloa, Mexico, identified as the possible source of the contamination, and noted that there have even been no reported illnesses connected to its recalled products. The recall comes as the CDC and the FDA investigate the salmonella outbreak that has sickened 345 people in 27 states, and with hospitalization in about 36 people. Restaurants including Chipotle and Qdoba have also stopped using affected jalapenos after receiving them from the distributor. Meanwhile, Taylor Farms continues to face scrutiny over separate other outbreaks involving iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico. So there you go. What do you think there?
Did I just ruin Taco Tuesday? Oh, man.
So there you go. Let's talk about this one real quick. Tyler Borbett, 21-year-old son of Representative Lauren Borbett, has been arrested in Colorado and facing multiple felony charges related to alleged sexual exploration of a child, according to the court records. Charges include alleged child sexual exploration, possession of exploitative material, including videos, and 2 counts of contributing to delinquency of a minor. He was arrested on August the 9th, released the same day after posing a $10,000 bond, and is scheduled to appear in court on August the 19th. The new case comes as Tyler is already awaiting sentencing for 2 separate criminal cases stemming from earlier allegations involving child abuse and vehicle trespassing and theft. The latest legal development also comes as Lauren faces re-election campaign in the Colorado's 4th congressional district. So there you go. There you go. What an interesting time to talk about. So there you go. I mean, out on bond, so we'll see what happens there. So there's some info. So take a listen to this one, because this one's kind of been going on for a hot little minute here. Former OnlyFans model and influencer Courtney Clinny has pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the 2022 stabbing death of her boyfriend, Christian Abulsuli, bringing one of the country's most closely watched true crime cases to close. The plea deal allows Courtney to avoid possible 30-year sentence or a second-degree murder charge. She was sentenced 6 years in prison with credit for nearly 4 years that she's already served since the 2022 arrest, meaning that she's expected to spend about 2 more years behind bars. She also served 5 years of probation and undergo mandatory mental health treatment. Prosecutors said that Christian's family supported the agreement because Courtney accepted responsibility for his death, and the deal also prevents her from profiting from the case. I'd like to understand that last part. Like, how does it prevent her? Like, she can't sell a book, can't sell a movie. So what if they have the
unauthorized
version of it? Because that's going to be the other portion that will probably come about when it's all said and done. So you are aware that we all do make mistakes, right? Don't worry, this is not going to be an ad about mistake-free life or anything along those lines, but listen to this screw up, because this definitely happened. A UK radio station is in hot water after mistakenly broadcasting a pre-recorded emergency announcement claiming that King Charles had died. Radio aired the false reports during a live show in May after the staff member reportedly played the files out of curiosity while performing computer maintenance and accidentally interrupting the program. The broadcast included multiple death announcements, the national anthem, and even 16 minutes of silence before the normal programming resumed. About 30 minutes later, the host apologized on air, confirming the reports were false and blaming the technical error. Britain media regulators Ofcom has ruled that the station violated broadcasting standards for airing inaccurate news and not correcting it quickly enough. The employee involved was reprimanded. The emergency files were moved to an external hard drive, and the staff members were reminded that strict procedures for handling royal emergency announcements. So what do you think here? I am just saying. So it gets interesting for sure. So there you go. There you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things, because that's just kind of what we do around here. We talk a little bit about everything that is going on, opposed to just one here, one there. So let's do this. So take a listen to this one, because when I started looking at the news of the
weird
this morning, this is some of the stuff that I found. A 32-year-old woman in Japan has been arrested after allegedly placing nearly 2,100 fake orders on Manga's publisher online store without ever intending to pay for them. Manga store is a specialized retail shop or bookstore that focuses primarily on selling Japanese comic books and graphic novels. Using 238 different accounts, she ordered about $27 million worth of merchandise when either let the order expires or refuse delivery. The publisher said the scheme cost the company about $47,000 in shipping and processing fees, while also preventing legitimate customers from buying the items that appeared to be sold out. The woman admitted placing the orders, but said that she wasn't targeting the company. She claimed that the fake shopping spree was simply her way of coping with everyday stress. So her shopping cart had a stronger commitment issues more than most dating apps. And she treated the add to cart like it was a competitive sport, is definitely what it sounds like. So what do you think here? I'm just asking. I mean, how do you get to the point that you think that about $27 million worth of product orders is okay, that you're not going to be on the hook for it? I mean, you knew that somebody was going to come back and be like, hey, what the hell's going on? So I don't understand this one. It just gets kind of weird, if I can put it in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. It's kind of a strange one when it's all said and done. Okay, so take a listen to this. Pastry chef spends 4 months creating awe-inspiring 1,100-pound wedding cake. A Spanish pastry chef has created one of the world's most elaborate wedding cakes. Mark Suarez spent more than 5 months designing and building a towering 11.5-foot tall, 1,100-pound masterpiece for the Saudi royals' wedding held in Paris Opera Garnier. The cake features 33,000 handcrafted sugar petals and required about 1,800 hours worth of work. Suarez, who usually works alone, recruited a few fellow pastry chefs, friends, and even parents to help to complete the massive project. Ironically, though, only about 0.1% of the creation is actually cake. The rest is made of handmade molded sugar paste, white chocolate designed with it resembled the grand monument rather than the traditional wedding cake. I was going to ask that exact same question here for a moment, because think about this real quick. If you have a cake that has taken you 5 months is what they said? Yeah, 5 months for designing and building. I don't really know if this is going to be a cake that I want to eat. Is one of those weird things. So there you go. So you know how every once in a while you kind of find some weird stories, and you kind of really find some weird stories? I think this might fall under this particular category.
Duh.
I'm just saying. So a viral interview with a man claiming to be a time traveler from the year 4413 is making the rounds again, identifying himself as Lewis Walker. He alleged that he was recruited by the Britain Ministry of Defense in 1977 to test a secret time machine, only to wake up more than 2,400 years in the future. Walker claimed that he found a world filled with flying cars, robot-run cities, and very few humans. According to his story, the travel becomes available to the public in 2028, and humanity eventually merges with technology, leaving robots to inherit civilization. He insisted the robots were intelligent, peaceful, and welcoming. Walker said that he eventually returned to 1977 when scientists told him that he had been gone for weeks. However, he provided no evidence to support his claims, and there is no verified proof that time travel technology exists or that the story is even true. Take a listen to this.
I opened my eyes and I was in a hospital bed. There was a blanket over me, so I lifted it and saw I was still wearing that special suit. I looked around the room and it was seemingly empty. No TV, nothing. I said out loud, "Hello, is anybody there?" And then this robotic female voice said, "Hello, Lewis." I looked around and couldn't see anyone. "Where am I?" I asked. "What year am I in?" The voice said, "You are in the year 4413. Are you feeling all right?" I was in this huge city. It was nothing like I had ever seen before. There were cars flying above me and the streets were full of robots. I only saw a few other people. I ran up to this one bloke and asked him, "Where am I?" And he laughed and said, "Oh, you must be new to this. I am a time traveller too, from the year 2030. I told him that I was from 1977, and he said time travel is released to the public in the year 2028, and that the year that we were in was a common travel spot for time travellers. I was amazed. He told me that humans no longer exist in this year, and they had merged with technology long ago, and now only robots remained.
Okay, so there you go. What do you think? I mean, I know I just gave about a minute and a half to some future potential there, but what do you think there? I'm just asking because, man, it is interesting to see. That is for sure. Okay, let's continue talking real quick. Authorities in Chicago are investigating a Southside funeral home after more than 50 bodies were discovered improperly stored in many advanced stages of decomposition. Officials say the remains were found in an unrefrigerated area with evidence of rodents and maggots infestation after neighbors had complained for months about foul odor coming from the building. State regulators have suspended the funeral director's license, saying that the conditions pose a danger to public safety. Investigators are working to identify the remains and review documentation. While police continue their investigation, no criminal charges have been filed so far. So there you go. That's a Yelp review that you don't want to come back from. So that's for sure, is what it sounds like. So there you go. There you go. Okay. Should I give you this one? Let me give you this one. Take a listen to this. A Wyoming restaurant owner is hoping that the public can help identify a family of 4 who allegedly died and dashed after racking up a $130 lunch bill. The lady's name is Zoe. She's the owner of Sweet Zoe Mediterranean in Casper. Said the group ordered appetizer, drinks, entrees, and desserts, and they all got up at the same time and ran to their car without paying. Instead of calling the police, she posted a security camera with the image of the restaurant's Facebook page, saying that she wanted to give the family a chance to make things right. If it had been an honest mistake, the post sparked mixed reactions. Some people offered to help pay the unpaid bill, while others criticized her for posting photos that appeared to include teenagers. Zoe said that she chose not to contact police because a previous dine and dash case at several restaurants led nowhere. The family has not been identified, and the bill remains unpaid. So there you go. I don't know. It's like, I have a hard time with that. And it's not the lady posting about what had happened. It's like, why would you go into a place with the intent of stealing food? And let's just talk about this. I mean, restaurants are marked up 300% for the most part. Might be even more nowadays. And all of a sudden you're going to dine and dash. It's kind of a weird thing. But I mean, I guess that's more of a me issue than a you issue. It's just an issue altogether in regards to what's going on.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, yeah, trying to be entertaining. I get it. Let's move forward. Let's move forward with life.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
You know, I have to tell you, sometimes we get into some stories that I kind of ask some questions and I kind of wonder where the hell we're going with some of it. And then I kind of wonder sometimes where should we go, not go, consider, and all that other kind of fun stuff. So there you go. So with that being said, why don't we go down the path here for just a brief moment? And yesterday we kind of got hung up on some things, talking about default modes that people go into, default modes that organizations will do, kind of some of the laws and some of the changes that need to take place. And that's kind of the interesting part of where we continue down some of these conversations from time to time. And the reason that I bring this up today is because I'm always amazed on people looking for changes, for people looking for things that seem to be important, but also at the same time seem to have no validity to them, if that makes any sense. So I will tell you that I'm always surprised with the flavor of the month type of thing. And let me explain what I mean here. You are aware that there is a lot of stuff that is done and repackaged and done again, and somebody else stamp of approval. Like, I will tell you, I kind of sit here from sometimes, and I have a hard time with some of the stuff that we have to report. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason that I have a hard time with it is because sometimes we talk about these awards that are handed out. And awards are cool. I'm glad that some people need that to bring validity to what the hell they're doing. But it's kind of a weird thing. And let me explain why I say this. You are aware that most of these awards that are handed out from a safety standpoint, from a standpoint in regards of some of the competition that are out there. We can even talk about some of the safety podcast awards that are out there. And I will bring these up because it is essentially a popularity contest. Either you have to pay to be nominated, which is really kind of how most of those things go, or it's a popularity contest where, hey, let's sit here as a group for a moment and determine who is the best safety person. We're going to give you the Safety Person of the Year award for your region because we just think you're great. Well, I mean, I understand some of that. I do and I don't. Because now you're telling me that a board of people, similar to how they would do this in the Oscars, a group of people have determined what movie is important. A group of people have determined what person is the safety person, blah, 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 blah. It gets weird. Let's just be realistic. It's weird. I can understand bringing up content. I can understand creating something and somebody says, hey, let's acknowledge you. I get that. But some of this other stuff is just strange. And I say this, from the best point possible. It's not really about the repackaging about stuff. It's more about the understanding of things. I will tell you, I have been to locations. I have been to organizations where some of the best people, and I'm not saying places I've worked at, I'm talking about just places I've visited, and some of the best people that understand concepts and principles and how to work your system, they're there. And guess what? They go in and day out and do the work. And there is no name recognition. There is no award show in regards of what they've been able to do. They're there doing the work because they understand it. Nobody's awarded them anything. So this is where some of these awards get kind of weird. Like what I always love looking at is some of these safety people that are out there in regards of that have written books, that they're authors and all this other stuff. And they're talking about how they are the best author in the world in the books of safety and blah, blah, blah. I understand trying to get concepts out, but man, kind of tooting your own horn there, it kind of gets very strange. Like there is a guy that I keep on seeing on LinkedIn that he posts videos like he's the subject matter expert in regards of what's going on with safety. But he believes that behavior-based safety and HOP are the same thing, that all you're doing is changing some words. I don't know if I would make that person my guru, my expert, as they claim that they are. It's just strange. Then there's other things that I take a look at in regards of, we have these big global events. At least that's kind of how the company refers to themselves. And then you take a look around, and most of the speakers that present at these global events, as they call them, they don't get paid. Meaning that the group will get with them and say that they're going to pay them to be at their event, and then they don't pay them in the long run. But supposedly they're helping them make them popular. So this is where I have a hard time with some of this stuff. And I'm not sitting here and saying, hey, how terrible the industry is. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say here is maybe you need to realize that some of the smartest people that you'll ever get to meet are already in your system. And to some people that are listening to this, they're going to say, maybe I'm the smartest person in my organization. And that's fine too. You can say that. But you don't always have to go out there and find someone else doing this. Meaning just because somebody handed them an award for X does not necessarily mean that they are the best person at it. I know it's kind of a hard one to believe in regards to some people hearing this today. And that's where we need to get to. That understanding that you don't have to, not everything that's going to work has to come from this pedestal or high place inside of what we do. Understand that some of these things, some of the best people that we will ever meet are already there. They will understand this. They do not need an award. They do not need to repackage. They know how to adapt. And they will understand some of this stuff way better than anybody ever else will. And that's where it gets scary. It gets to the point sometimes that they're probably going to forget more than the stuff that we'll ever be able to comprehend entirely, because they're just that good at what they do.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
In order to save the planet from cow farts, why doesn't someone just invent really large gas X pills?
God, what's that awful stench? Radio.
Here we are, 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. Yeah, this one right here, this one's called Motivation. It's from Reyes. We would like to thank Reyes for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Yep, there you go. I have to tell you, little banger going on right there. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on in the multi. There you go. So let's continue moving and grooving and talking about some other things that are going on. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, audio, video, and nothing there. I'm just joking about that. What you're going to find is information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. If you scroll down a little bit, once you get there, there are all kinds of text lines, better saying. If you're in the U.S., better saying, and if you go to type in 741-741 inside of your messenger and type in the word help, that will get you into the crisis text line. If you are in the UK and you type in to your messenger 85258 and type the word shout, that will get you into their hotline there. Crisis text line in Ireland, just text the word home to 50808. If you need the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, you can call or text 988. If you need the Trans Laugh line, it's 877-565-8860. Or if you need the Trevor Project, 866-488-7386. So there you go. A plethora of numbers to be able to assist you if you are looking, that is for sure. With that being said, let's go ahead and move forward and talk to John Smalls and let him tell us about what the hell's going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute.
courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Ryan. Arthur Ashe said, "True heroism is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost." I love this. Be a hero to your community and serve others. I get the chance to help at many events in our area because I own a sound system and I set it up at events to play music and I let people make announcements at the events. I get invited to events often and I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things about being a radio broadcaster, getting the chance to plug into my community to help at events like this. Now you can do this too, even without speakers. You just show up and help out. You'll be amazed at how many people you will meet by making yourself available to help at amazing community events in your area.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
President Trump says White House Staff Secretary Will Scharf will become the new White House counsel, replacing David Warrington in September.
Scharf previously served as a federal prosecutor and represented Trump in several cases, including before the Supreme Court. His appointment comes as the administration prepares for a closely contested midterm election and continuing legal battles. Kyle Norris reporting.
U.S. health officials are proposing tougher oversight of food additives, requiring manufacturers to notify regulators before introducing new ingredients into packaged foods.
The proposed change would force companies to submit safety findings for new ingredients, instead of relying solely on their own assessments. Federal officials say the move could give regulators earlier warning of potential risks. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A deadly Houthi attack near Yemen's Red Sea port of Mocha is adding another threat to shipping already disrupted by the wider Middle East conflict.
Local officials say 7 people were killed and 30 wounded in the attack, underscoring continuing danger near a key maritime route. The violence could further complicate commercial shipping and efforts to stabilize regional trade. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A senior Republican lawmaker is urging the Trump administration to keep restrictions on advanced computer chips reaching sanctioned Chinese companies, citing national security concerns.
Representative John Moulinaire says existing export rules need strict enforcement to prevent sensitive technology from reaching restricted firms. His warning adds bipartisan pressure on an administration facing questions about technology sales to China. Liam White reporting.
Iran is demanding major concessions from Washington before reopening the Strait of Hormuz, deepening a standoff threatening global energy supplies.
Tehran wants sanctions lifted, frozen assets released, and compensation for war damage before restoring shipping through the vital waterway. The demands are dimming hopes for a quick reopening and keeping pressure on energy markets. Chris Anderson reporting.
The Senate has delayed a major cryptocurrency bill until September, reducing the chances that Congress will establish new digital asset rules this year.
Senators postponed the Clarity Act vote after disagreements over money laundering safeguards, stablecoin rewards, and ethics rules. Supporters are pushing for another attempt, but the election calendar leaves lawmakers little time to reach a deal. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Britain and France are preparing for another severe heat wave as temperatures rise across Western Europe, raising fresh health and wildfire concerns.
French forecasters expect southeastern temperatures near 40 degrees Celsius, while Britain has issued an amber health alert. Officials are warning of greater strain on vulnerable people as drought and fire risks continue across the region. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Ukraine and Russia are trading deadly strikes as attacks damage major infrastructure and raise new concerns about the safety of vital food exports.
Ukrainian officials say Russian attacks damaged Odessa's port, while fighting also killed people in Kharkiv and Belgorod. The widening strikes threaten shipping routes and could create new pressure on global food supplies. Gary Beck reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
You're locked in to the only show that's more refreshing than finding fries at the bottom of the bag.
What do guys like besides pizza and morning sex?
Jay Allen in the morning.
It's so bizarre and unnatural.
It's all good. On radio.
Oh, yes, it's all good when it's all said and done. So there you go. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 1929, Babe Ruth becomes the first to hit 500 home runs. In 1948, Summer Olympics open in London. In 1956, Elvis Presley releases Don't Be Cruel. In 1976, Keith Moon, drummer of The Who, collapses and is hospitalized in Miami. In 1980, Reggie Jackson hits his 400th home run. And in 2014, Robin Williams died by suicide and hanging in his home in California. That happened back on the dates that I referenced. Let's talk about some celebrity birthdays that are going on today. Joe Rogan turns 59, Ashley Jensen turns 58, and Chris Hemsworth turns 43 today. So there you go. There's some birthdays going your way. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Oil prices climbed yesterday as a concern grew as the disruption in a strategically important Strait of Hormuz could drag on longer than expected. The waterway normally handles about 20% of the world's oil shipment, and uncertainty over when it will fully reopen has traders on the edge. Adding to the uncertainty is Iran's denied reports that it has been in negotiations with the United States, raising doubts that the resolution is close. As a result, both international Brent crude and U.S. crude prices moved higher as markets reacted to the potential fear of the supply disruption. So there you go. Also, President Trump is making changes to his senior White House team just weeks before the midterm election when control of Congress should shift. Trump has promoted Staff Secretary Will Scharf to serve as the White House counsel, replacing David Warrington. Announcing the move on social media, the president praised Scharf as a tough, strong, and smart, saying that I know Will well. The staffing change comes as the administration prepares for a political crucial stretch of heading into the election day. So there you go. Also, Todd Blanche has officially been sworn in as the U.S. Attorney General after serving as acting Attorney General for several months. President Trump's former personal attorney has confirmed by the Senate by the narrow 50-49 vote over the weekend, making his appointment permanent. Blanche takes over the Justice Department following the firing of former Attorney General Pam Bondi in April when he stepped in as acting Attorney General. So there you go. Also, tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $80 million. And here are last night's winning Powerball numbers. Jackpot was $905 million, 637, 54, 55, 64. Powerball was 10. Power Play was 3. And since there was no jackpot winners last night, Wednesday's jackpot will climb to around $975 million. So there you go. What else do we got going on today? Let's see. If you need some words of wisdom, life gets lighter when you let go of grudges. There you go. And if you need some advice for today, if your door has a problem with the hinge, screw holes that are too loose to hold the screws, insert a silver of wood with each screw. The wooden matchstick or toothpick works well, but the matchstick is in a butt end first, and then break it off. There you go. That's it. That will do the magic trick for you. Anyways, this is going to sum up our time at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm for the next couple hours or so, talking about the world of music and entertainment. Outside of that, if you do not want to go to radiobig.fm, you can hang out right here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So that's going to sum up everything for us. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.